Happy morning, students. Today, let us deal with the fifth chapter, A Sunny Morning, from your book Springs, written by Serafin and Joaquin Alvarez Quintero. Students, Serafin and Joaquin Alvarez Quintero were Spanish brothers known as the Golden Boys of Madrid Theatre. They were celebrated playwrights of the early 20th century. Together, they wrote about 200 plays which depict the life, manners, and speech of the people of their native Andalusia in southern Spain. Their popular comedies, many of which have been translated into other languages, contributed to the revival of Spanish theatre. The Flowers, The Merry Heart, 100 Years Ago, The Galley Slave, and Apple of His Eye are some of their popular plays. Students, A Sunny Morning is a one act play with full of humor containing romantic episodes. The characters of this play are Donna Laura, Petra, Laura's maid, Don Gonzalo, and Junato, his servant. So here, Donna Laura and Don Gonzalo are the protagonists of this play. A Sunny Morning is a refreshing new romantic comedy. It revolves around Don Gonzalo and Donna Laura, who in their youth were passionately attached to each other. They were ardent lovers. A cruel blow of fate separates the two lovers forever. They do not recognize each other when they meet in a park in Madrid on a sunny morning after several years. But as they begin to talk in earnest, they realize that they are the protagonists of the original love story. But the usual reunion of the long lost lovers does not take place here as both of them are unwilling to disclose their real identity since they are both sadly changed. Sunny Morning is a short one act play by Serafin and Joaquin Alvarez Quintero, two renowned Spanish dramatists. It is a romantic comedy which presents the story of Don Gonzalo and Donna Laura, who loved each other in their youth but were forced to separate in their life. This romantic comedy denotes a form of drama in which love is the main theme and the love leads to a happy ending. Here, Sunny Morning tells the story of the two lovers. Through this play, the writer gives a new definition of love in the contemporary life. It is a blend of romance, comedy, and irony. It is full of humor containing romantic episodes. The place of action had been taken place in a retired corner of a park in Madrid, and the time of action was autumn. Donna Laura, a handsome, white haired old lady of about 70, refined in appearance, her bright eyes and entire manner were giving evidence that despite her age, her mental faculties are unimpaired. She entered the park with her maid carrying a parasol. Parasol means an umbrella used as a walking stick also. In her free hand. She held it in a free hand. Don Gonzalo, an old gentleman of 70, gauty and impatient, entered the park dragging his feet as he walked. The meeting of Donna Laura and Don Gonzalo in the park was accidental. The conversation between the two 70 years old begins sarcastically. These are the main characters of the play. Petra and Ginetto are the servants respectively. Donna Laura comes to the park with a servant to enjoy sunny morning. She has brought breadcrumbs to feed the birds in the park. Don Gonzalo comes to the park with his servant. He is an old and grotesque, unable to walk, so he drags his feet. The birds are scared away on his arrival. Donna Laura is annoyed by this. She calls him an ill-natured man. Don Gonzalo also considers Laura as a quarrelsome woman. The conversation between the two 70-year-old begins sarcastically, with each accusing the other of encroaching on their private space. Don Gonzalo complains the priest have taken his bench and says Donna Laura is a senile old lady. She ought to be at home knitting and counting her beads. She finds him ill-natured old man. He resigns himself on the seat on the bench with the old lady. As Don Gonzalo's regular seat was occupied by three priests, he had to sit on the Donna Laura's bench. Before sitting, he started complaining about the authorities that they should place more benches in the sunny mornings in the park. And then he sat at the extreme end of the Donna Laura's bench and looks at her indignantly. He touches his hat and he greets her good morning. Laura replied her, "Are you here again?" Then Gonzalo asked her, "That I repeat that we have not met." Gonzalo, as he was a gentleman, he was not abrasive towards the ladies. So he just said that I repeat that we have not met. I was responding to a salute, she said. Then Gonzalo said that good morning should be answered by good morning. That is all you should have said. There were comments between them. Initially, they were strangers and they argued, quarreled, and taunted at each other. When Don Gonzalo was brushing the dust from his shoes with his handkerchief, Donna Laura was observing it and she asked him if he used his handkerchief as a shoe brush and a shoe brush as a handkerchief. She started commenting him. Gonzalo asked her what right she has to criticize her actions because she was criticizing him. And he said Junato to give his book and he does not want to listen to the nonsense of Laura. And he also told her to not interfere which does not concern her. And after that, he asked Junato to give his book and Junato hands over a book to him and he exits there. Don Gonzalo, casting indignant glances at Donna Laura, puts on an enormous pair of glasses, takes from his pocket a reading glass, adjusts both to suit him, and opens his book. And this was being observed by Laura. The next comment was about an enormous pair of glasses taken by Don Gonzalo from his pocket. It was a reading glass and he adjusted to read a book. Then Donna Laura told him that she thought that she was taking out a telescope. She was just commenting on his every action. Laura commented on his eyesight. He said that he hunts. When he said that he hunts, she further commented on the Gonzalo's hunting habits. When he told Laura that every Sunday he takes his gun and dog and went to one of his estates to shoot animals and to kill his time, means just for time pass. She told him that he knew only to kill time. So he said her further that he can show a wild boar's head in his study. Then listening to that, Laura said that she could also show a tiger skin in her boudoir. Boudoir means women's private room. And she asked him what does that prove. Then Gonzalo was really fed up of this lady. So he said her that please allow him to read and enough of the conversation. Don Gonzalo told Donna Laura that he should take a pinch of snuff before he would read. So he offered her this snuff. Snuff means that powdered tobacco. Okay, that is taken into the nose. When he offered her a pinch of snuff, she asked with the attitude, if it is good ones, then only she will take it. Then he said it is the finest one. She took a pinch of snuff and she said that it clears her head. Gonzalo's head was also cleared after taking the snuff. They sneezed for 3 times. The snuff had made peace between them. Students, this is the end of the first part. In the second part, let us see whether they recognize each other and reveal their identity or not.